It is Thursday, May 14th, 2015. Welcome, everyone, to episode 36 of the OG Cast, your clan podcast for the original Guardians. My name is Mike. You can find me on Xbox Live. I am mikerocksmore. Got a great show ahead of us, but first, before we get to that, let's get to the panel for the week. First off, let's say hi to Franz. How's it going this week?
Good, man. Good. Just noticed episode 36. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe it's been that long. Some good times.
Yeah, it's hard to believe it's been that long, but yeah, we are at 36. So we are well over half a year now at this. So no one's canceled us yet, so that's a good thing.
Time flies.
Can they actually cancel us?
Well, it's not based on viewership, so that's good.
But yeah, that's a good thing. Well, you heard Howard in there. Howard's going to be joining us, I think, from now on, because we've got some few little changes coming, and of course we're going to talk all about that first. But let's say hi to Howard here. How's it going?
What's up, everybody? It's going well. I'm Howard, aka Triage, and I'm happy to be here. If you see me adjusting my camera throughout the thing, it's because I've done some redneck engineering to make it have a good view of me.
Yeah. That's a mighty fine-looking forehead you have.
I know. In my world, it's called a 5-head. So I can show you if you want. I can get my whole hand on there.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah. This is why I grow the beard out, because the rest of my hair is leaving.
Ah.
Compensating.
Compensating. Actually, I lost a bet, and that's how I grew a beard.
Oh. Well, it's a damn fine beard, if I do say so myself. So.
Well, we're in the country, so we have to have them.
It's the prerequisite.
It is if you don't want to get mugged.
What kind of neighborhood you live in?
One right next to a school.
Those pesky teenagers, man, they can get scary.
Oh, it's an elementary school, but we're straight pretty tough here in the middle of Kansas. You know, we have some cows and a couple. We lost our Dairy Queen, so now we don't really have much left.
Oh.
Yeah.
Not the Dairy Queen.
We lost the Dairy Queen. We can no longer get spicy chicken strips, guys. It's kind of a life ruiner.
Are you okay?
Dairy Queen was my first job. It was ice cream only Dairy Queen, though.
Oh, see, there's one of those. There was one of those like 30 miles away, but a tornado ate it 3 years ago.
It's in the land of Oz now.
It's gone. Yeah, it's gone.
All right, Mike, bring us back.
Sorry, Mike. Sorry. I keep seeing my camera move, and I keep going back to the scene from Iron Man 3. Is this the forehead of security?
All right. Well, I guess before we get too far into things, why don't you just tell the good people a little something about yourself before we get going here.
Oh gosh.
History.
I mean, history on everything, like how many times I've been arrested, or just simple stuff.
If you want, it's not really gaming related, but yeah, sure.
All right. Well, I am Howard, also known as Triage. Gosh, my gaming history goes all the way back to Atari. I'm that old, and if you really want to go back, I used to put code into my Commodore 64 from a book and make my own games with my brothers. So I've been around a while, around the block. I guess my first real fun multiplayer experience would have been playing, Mario stuff with my brothers, and I kind of moved on in college, and my buddy used to obtain computer parts, and he slowly started to build a LAN party for Battlefield, and that was pretty awesome. Then I moved on to a little bit of Xbox, some World of Warcraft, every MMO that's been out over the past probably 8 years I've played. And I got tired of sitting in a PC chair, which is what I'm doing right now. And I moved on to strictly console, and now I'm playing Smite. to the point where my fingers are bleeding. I'm afraid my wife might leave me. And there's been a threat detected on my computer, so I hope it's not me. Anything else? I guess I'm a teacher trainer for my job. I used to teach felons, people that wanted to stab me every night and every day, but I stopped doing that. I got a little bored with wondering if the cops were going to show up to get me to my Jeep after work or not. So I decided to do something a little different.
Cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, when you have a beard, kids are scared of you, believe it or not. They automatically think you can like wrestle and take down bears with your bare hands. So
Little Mr. Santa.
yeah, worked out pretty well.
Cool. Well, welcome aboard. Glad to have you.
I'm glad to be here. I'm glad to be here, that's for sure. It is hot in my basement. It's raining outside and it's muggy. So if you see me pass out, just throw some chats out to wake me up.
Okay.
Send out the 911.
They'll find me. Our town's small.
Next to where that Dairy Queen used to be.
Hey, I'm back. Don't worry. I'm back. I'm here. Just doing some adjusting. Look at that. Oh, that's better. If I get too low, you'll see I'm not wearing any pants. So let's try to keep it. Let's try to keep it PG for a little bit. I'd planned on pants. I'm just gonna continue taping this thing while we're going. So this is gonna be the craziest podcast you've ever had, thanks to me.
Well, we're already off to a great start. So.
Or at the very least organized. I came down here and taped on this last night, but it decided to not function. Oh, look at that! That last piece was perfect. I'm good to go. Look at that.
Excellent.
I guess I can raise my chair up too, since I'm short. There we go. Look at that.
There he is. All right.
All right. Let's continue on. I'm sure everybody who's going to be watching this, all 14 people, are going to be really tired of what I'm doing.
All right. Well, you mentioned Smite a minute ago there, so that's the main reason why you're here, because you've definitely taken a big shining to that, and a lot of interest in the clan about Smite too. So, like, what is Smite? Why don't you just tell us a little bit about it and maybe why you're such a fan of it?
Well, it's a MOBA, which is I think it's a multiplayer online battle arena. It's just strictly PvP, which is extremely exciting to me. Every MMO I've ever played, every game I've ever played, I've never really cared about the story. I tell you, I probably didn't finish Halo until about a year after it had been out, because I just went straight into shooting people. In World of Warcraft, I did some raiding, but I only really stuck to PvP. Same with Old Republic, same with Guild Wars. Aeon, if you guys have ever heard of that game, it was just miserably terrible, but I tried it and did PvP there. Warhammer, PvP. Smite is nothing but PvP, which is exactly what I want. You just have lanes. It's hard to explain. It's not hard to explain, really. You just kill each other. There's a bunch of gods. You log in, you get with your buddies, and you kill each other. There's a ton of synergy going on, and if you don't communicate, everybody dies, which is what we learned last night for quite a while. For 2 consecutive rounds, we lost by like 200 points, which was pretty bad. It's the most fun I've had in a long time. Coming from a PC in the beginning background, I've been really struggling to stick with console only, because I've been really, I don't know, it doesn't offer as much as I want. It's shooter and then Dragon Age and some game like that, and that's kind of all you get. I've been really hoping and really wishing, pining for some sort of PC thing to come out to kind of keep me from sliding 20 feet from the other side of my man cave and back into this computer chair and staring at an MMO raid for the next 15 hours. Smite has fixed that for me, and it kind of makes me feel like where I was before. You may keep going into Smite, like how it works and all the other things, or you may?
Yeah, whatever you want. Yeah, sure.
Oh, no, I mean, I don't want to keep on trucking. You may have some questions and things like that. So we can give the 4 head of security a small break if you have something else you want to bring in.
Well, yeah, no, I've played it for an hour or so myself. Obviously, not too deep into it by any means. It's definitely a lot different for me, coming from more of a first-person shooter background. That's kind of what I generally navigate to. So it's very different to me in that standpoint, as of course it would be. Yeah, I'm not really deep enough in it to really have too much of an opinion on it. But
one of the things that's interesting about it is, from a first-person shooter perspective, it's kind of got that temperament, that attitude where you really want to get after it, and killing people is very important. But in Call of Duty, if you get 15 assists in a match, people might call you a noob. Couldn't finish, couldn't pull the trigger. In Smite, if you get 15 assists, you're a hell of a teammate, and they're happy to have you there. Not everybody's meant to kill. There's different kind of classes with different roles. You see those in an FPS. You have a support guy, and you have a an engineer and an assault guy, but they all kind of do the same thing. They just have a couple different things. This guy can revive you, or this guy can shove a needle in your ass. I'm not quite sure how they all work, but in Smite, at least, you can do some healing, you can do some tanking, you can do some DPS, you can do a hybrid of all of them. There's builds out there that you can do it all. So I think there's so much synergy and so much teamwork, and I think that's one of the things about consoles that I've missed, because we can all get around in Destiny and go shoot stuff, but two people may carry us through the entire round, and it doesn't work that way in Smite. If everybody's not playing well, you have to have 4 or 5 excelling, or you're probably going to lose.
What would you say to the people who see like the 100 gods and 100 plus items and feel it's too daunting to get into?
Whew. That's a struggle I think we've had in our community over the past few months, probably a few weeks when we've got really active. People try a god, they're terrible at it, they hate it, Smite sucks, I'm done. I would say, think about what you want to do. Spend some time on YouTube, on Twitch, on Google, for God's sakes, on the Smite Fire forums. Find out, do you want to be a straight damage dealer? Find out what the damage dealers are. Do you want to be melee? Do you want to be ranged? Do you want to do magical, physical? What's your favorite type of doing something? Because there's a type for each one. If you want to be melee physical, then you can pick Thor, right? And he's also an assassin, so he's capable of wrecking people. Although I think he's a pretty terrible character to play myself, but I hate melee. So just do a little bit of research, do a little legwork, or ask one of us, because a lot of us know quite a bit about it already. I knew about it from PC. I played it some with some buddies, but I never went past kind of the free trial, maybe level 10. Tried some gods, never bought the god pack or anything like that. You really have to work together and communicate and talk to each other about what you want to do. Last night, I'll give you a perfect example. Last night we were playing a match, and Eons was running a Guardian. Everybody was kind of running their own little DPS or whatever they wanted to do, and it was just an arena battle, which is kind of like a free-for-all, right? Yeah. Everybody goes in and just rams their junk into each other and see which one falls first. But we found out we just kept dying. Was that un-PG? My bad.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
You obviously haven't watched the show.
Okay. No, Riz was breaking my balls earlier about bringing the level into some sort of pit of despair. So I'm trying to behave myself because mom was after me today. But we played a couple of rounds and we were doing pretty poorly. We lost by a couple 100 points in each one, and then we decided, okay, this character can do this. This character can do this. George is good on this character, because he's got a couple that he's kind of tinkering with. And we went in and we destroyed the next two teams. I mean, absolutely dismantled them. Those guys probably put down their controller and said, "I can't believe I downloaded this fucking beta," and just walked away. And we don't want people that we don't know to quit. We'd rather harass our own. But it felt good when we finally got a little bit of communication and discussed what we should do and what characters we should play. And everybody was laughing and having a good time, and I think that's what we should be doing in games, right?
Yeah,
having a blast.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
It's the worst camera ever.
Don't think about it, man. Don't worry.
Huh?
Don't worry about it. Don't think about it.
I really love seeing me. You know what I mean? Like Howard's a big fan of Howard. So when Howard only gets a portion of Howard, it kind of ruins his night. So
where's your Howard hat? You know, have your Howard hat on, then you can see yourself.
Oh God, that hat is phenomenal. For anybody that doesn't know that's out there watching, when I was a child, obviously because I'm kind of a prick now, my grandparents made apparel with my face on it because I was such a good kid. And I was digging through my grandfather's old hats at my Nana's house the other day, a few months ago, and I found a hat with my head on it. I made every member of my family take a picture wearing this stupid Howard hat. And they're all so frustrated. My wife wore it to school for Halloween, and she's like, "That's my husband before he was an asshole." People were impressed that there was a time that existed, and so I think that's interesting. Like a $600 monitor with 4 rolls of tape on it. This is how I keep everything held together in my house. You know what I mean? You buy nice stuff and then you don't prepare.
You just need some duct tape.
This webcam is one of those ones that lays like down below, right? And when it looks up your nose, and there's no way to adjust it. And the only way to get it to function properly is give it distance, and get it up high. But there's no clamps. It just came with a foldy thing to sit on the desk. And the whole time it's like the roof of your mouth and your nose, And nobody wants like a complete look up of the 5 head because it would look like Mount Everest or something, and then everybody would be frightened. I think that's all I got.
You got to trim your nose hair before you come on the podcast. So.
I'm getting close to 40, so I have to anyways. Unfortunately, it's one of those things. I found a hair in my ear this morning. It was gray, so I had a little moment of silence when I had my morning coffee for my advancing age.
Hear that, kids? This is what awaits you.
You know what? This is, and I can tell you why I originally got really into gaming is because my wife didn't want me going to the bars with my buddies anymore, and she's like, pick a hobby where you can be at home. I don't care what it is. Just stop leaving the house. And it was before our son was born. We were just boyfriend and girlfriend, and I knew I was going to marry her, and I was like, all right, that's cool. So I went out and bought a PC and an Xbox 360, and because I'd gotten rid of everything else, and I'd become like a dumb frat boy and not done that stuff. And ever since then, I wonder if she ever regrets it. Like she wishes, like, shit, I wish he'd just go to the bar for a few hours.
Now he's always here.
Christmas was all about completing the man cave, so that way no one has to deal with me on the other level of the house anymore.
Nice.
Yeah, it's been nice.
It's good to have your own man cave.
They just send me downstairs and say, it's time, go downstairs and play a game and get away from me. Okay.
Yes,
I can do that. Yes, ma'am. All right, so I seem to derail every conversation, but I hope that's okay.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But you got anything else you'd like to add about Smite? Because like I said, my experience with it is quite limited. So, like, Franz, do you got anything you'd like to throw in there? Or?
No, I mean it's fun. It could be daunting at first, but I think if you stick with it, it'll be a lot of fun.
Well,
it's definitely one of those games you got to play with people. I don't see it being fun if you're just playing by yourself constantly.
Yeah, I was with some solo teams earlier, and I was about to smite. I was done for good. Like, these people are terrible, and they were picking just terrible classes. They weren't using any of their stuff together. But once I get with the Guardian folk, things change. I guess I'd go a little bit into. I'd hate for my secretary to not have any of his notes read. So.
This would be Ridge.
This would be Ridge. This would be the house mom, if you will, making sure everybody's behaving.
What does Madam Secretary say?
I'll give you this. The man is extremely organized. I'm looking at the stuff he wrote down, and my God. Like, I get paid to talk all day, so everything I do is off the cuff. I don't organize, and he is the opposite of me. I bet he's pretty successful. Or everybody hates him, one of the two, probably both. I'll give a good explanation of kind of the different game modes and where to start. When you start in Smite, like I said, first things first, figure out what role you kind of want to play. Pick a god around that. Do some research. If you think one god is awesome, he may have been nerfed to shit and maybe the most worthless god. And even though you're having fun with him, if you get good on him and you start playing, and doing some competition, people might tell you go to hell. You can't bring that turd with you. Once you pick a god, you want to go through the tutorial. Don't mess around. Just spend the hour, screw around, learn the stuff, learn some of the phrases, learn how things go. And from there, and we've been doing this, Ridge and a few of us, we've all kind of been talking about the best way, because a lot of us know a lot about MOBAs and kind of have a lot of PC experience. And Ridge, God, that guy played League of Legends for thousands of hours or something. So if he's married, I'll be surprised. But moving on. After you've done the tutorial and you've kind of researched some gods, go to Arena. Grab 4 buddies, so you got 5-on-5. Go to Arena and just play that. Arena introduces, each game mode is just a different iteration of the other. It introduces more things, keeps you going. Arena's simple. It's a big freaking arena like back in the Grecian days. It's got a couple little camps on either side and just one big freaking dome you're playing in. And it introduces you to killing people and dying a lot, little mini camps, and it introduces you to minion waves. From there, we usually move on to Joust, which is 3v3, and Joust adds a lane on each side with the camps instead of just the camps kind of sitting there, and then you have the minion waves, and it adds a Phoenix and a Titan. Then you go to Siege, and that's 4v4, and it has one more lane down the middle that's a little bit different, and then it adds Siege engines, and you still have minions, and you have Titans, and you have everything else. And then from there, go to Conquest, and that's the big one. Conquest is for the big boys. It's the one you see being twitched all day by Dry Bear and all these crazy guys who work for High Res and Sunsoak or whatever his name is. If he ever watches this podcast, he's going to think I'm an a-hole for not knowing his name because he's super popular. Suntouch, I think. The Conquest is hard, and you have to have a lot of people working in unison to get it done, or you're kind of hosed. We've tried it. We've had some good games. I know Justin and I played one day. We got with 3 folks that were pretty good and knew what they were doing. And we've had a few wins as Guardians, but man, it's tough. It's real tough.
That's the classic MOBA.
Yeah, that's the classic kind of where you want to go with it. But you got to get it right, and you got to practice. You got to practice. It's not something you can just pick up. People don't just open a hood and build a car. Fix an engine. They do a little research. They look at it. Maybe they start with changing a battery and slowly work themselves up to rebuilding an engine. Games are no different. This game is no different. You got to put your due process in if you want to be good. If you just want to have fun, play Arena all day long. Nobody will care.
And the Conquest, that's still 5v5? Or?
Yeah, Conquest is 5v5, yeah.
Okay.
I'm just checking my... Yeah, look at that. I think I've been through most of the secretary's notes. He goes in pretty much detail. I'll be talking for an hour and a half, so I'll just
save for the next cast.
Yeah, save for the next cast. My God. Well, I had told him I was on a podcast a long time ago, and we had someone do someone always had kind of the notes we talked about throughout the time, and I always did the PvP section, and somebody just had my information waiting for me, so I never really had to spend much time worrying about it. I just kind of sat up. Whoa! Hey, don't worry about that. I'm back.
Technical difficulties.
Just more technical difficulties. Hey, here's the main problem with the whole thing. I have a really, really nice mic that you can't see, like a professional grade one, because I did podcasts for a long time, but the speaker I have was reverbing into it when I checked it right before we started. So now I've got a headphone from my cell phone plugged into the front of my computer. So not only is my computer taped, but I'm tethered to the front of my computer.
But you got that $600 monitor, man.
Yeah, I got this expensive monitor and this damn blue mic over here. I should sound crystal clear. People say that it makes me sound like I'm hillbilly, but that should make sense. I grew up on a farm.
You sound good, man.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, hillbilly's fine with me. All right. So what's next?
Unless you got anything Smite related, I think we could probably maybe move on to some other stuff. But yeah, definitely some good information there, and yeah, I definitely got to try and get back in there again here one of these days.
Well, you know, I'd like to add real quick that anybody that's watching, you could buy the God Pack, and it's officially, you're in the beta from now on, which is what they did with the PC version. So it's $30, and you can buy the Founders Pack. If you don't buy the Founders Pack, here's the important part. Before it launches, you will not get the Founders Pack in the end, so you'll have to buy those gods individually. It's going to cost you more than $30. So spend that $30 up front. It's the cheapest game you're ever going to buy that's not on Steam during their sale. And it's worth it, in my opinion. You want all the gods, and it's every future god as well. So right now there's 63. They're going to add another 40 over the next few years, so you're going to have that many options.
Which ones do you usually navigate to?
Which gods do I gravitate to?
Yeah. Or it just depends.
You know, right now with me having some experience and some not having experience, if we're doing something like Conquest, I try to gravitate towards doing a solo lane, so we don't put that responsibility on somebody else. It's just kind of learning, so they kind of have someone. So I really like Hebo. I like Cuckoo Khan. He's this crazy freaking bird, and he does this whirlwind thing. And last night I was told that there's two versions of Cuckoo Khan, really bad ones and really good ones, and that I guess I'm a decent one at them because people hate when I play them. I like Chang'e, I think that's how you say her name. She's got this stupid rabbit, which is the only thing in this world I'm scared of. Now everybody knows. She's got a stupid rabbit that's always talking when she's killing, and she does these really silly dances, but she's a pain in the ass to kill, and she's constantly annoying things, and I feel like I'm kind of an annoying person. I thought my personality fits her very well. If I could put on a dress and kill stuff, I think I'd want to be her.
You put on a dress, I'm staying the hell out of Kansas.
That's what we do in Kansas. Didn't you? We don't even believe in evolution around here, man. It's illegal to teach it in our state.
No kidding.
Yeah, Jesus says we can't have evolution. So our state said so. It's crazy.
Progressive.
Yeah. That's one way to put it. Imagine being married to a science teacher who's like, okay, so this is fun. Yeah.
And on the sixth day.
And on the sixth day, yeah, we created stupidity apparently. I mean, and that's not being against religion because I'm a Catholic person, but I'm also not an idiot. I can understand science fact and take a look at it and be like, oh well, that's interesting that things happened, right. Okay, that's probably enough for that for the rest of our future podcast.
Yeah, that'll be the end of theological chat.
You guys have all these pretty things on top of your screens, with your name and all that stuff. Man, I really need to step up my game.
Oh yeah.
I need to get a hold of Ridge.
Open up your Hangout toolbox. It's right in there.
What? I don't even know what that means. And you know what's funny? And you guys are gonna think this is crazy. I am a Google certified educator. I am paid to teach Google products all day long. But this portion of Google is locked in our district because people use it to screw around. So
Hangouts?
I could see how that could happen.
we have chat hangouts and we could do voice calling, but this actual part here where you can put party hats on people and big dildos on people's heads and stuff, that part is blocked because we want our teachers to focus.
Yeah, just leave all the rest of Google, on there, and with all the porn and all that you can easily search on. But see, there you go, Franz. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Little party crown there.
This is what you would do.
This is what we did do. I was at a conference last week. I kept doing stuff to my wife and taking screenshots, and then I posted them all on Facebook later on that night. She was displeased with Triage. we weren't friends. Oh, there we go. Look at that. All right. Scuba Steve.
Hey! All right, let's get back here.
All right. So yeah, definitely. Yeah, Smite's the big thing going around. So if you got any questions about it, definitely hit Howard up because yeah, he's the man for knowing all this stuff. So
I'm
hit him up.
I'm
He'll
one
help
of
you out.
them. You know, I'm one of them. There's a bunch of us that are really working together to try to keep try to build the Smite community a little bit, and I'm hoping we continue on, and I hope we gain some people, and we hope we don't lose anybody, hope we don't get anybody frustrated. But for now, we're doing amazing, and we're having fun, and I think you guys have stepped in a few times. We had Keith on the other night. We carried him a little bit, I mean, he wasn't getting any kills. But, I mean, Annie, I think he may have had one in like an hour, but that's fine.
Well, it's not easy at the beginning. I'll attest to that. I think, for the hour that I played, I think I got, 2, maybe 3 kills tops. So, a few deaths, and yeah, so.
It's much different. Shooters, you're used to running in there, and if you die, no big deal. And Smite, that's not the case. You got to be more conservative and preserve your life. Otherwise, you should start feeding the enemy.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was.
Different mentality.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay.
Cool. All right, well, let's change gears here, and let's quickly talk some Destiny because obviously we got House of Wolves coming up next week. No real information. New gameplay trailer dropped today. Of course, looks pretty good. So I figured, seeing as we're at the end of Dark Below now, I figured why don't we just take a few minutes here and just quickly talk about what our favorite things from Dark Below were, because, well, let's be honest, it wasn't a lot of people's favorite thing. Like, it was mainly there just because it upset a lot of people along the way with the whole upgrade thing. So let's try and look at some positives here. So, Howard, I'm not too sure how much of it you actually got to play in the end, but
a little bit.
I mean, I liked the raid. I thought the raid was good. I mean, until all the news came out of people soloing it and all that. But, I mean, at the beginning, the raid was fun. It's still a decent raid. It's no Vault of Glass, but...
yeah, no, I definitely agree with that. I think my favorite thing, I guess myself, is also raid related, because we actually, got Flawless Raider on Crota's End.
We did.
I think that's quite an accomplishment. And that's definitely one of my highlights from the last few months of Destiny. So, because I don't think it would have been possible in Vault of Glass. How many times have we tried it and failed, and so I'm sure we could have done it. It's obviously possible, but
I also thought the multiplayer maps were good. Well, at least 2 of them.
To this day, I still have not played Skyshock or the big one with vehicles.
I have
not played that yet.
Yeah, I think they realized that the big maps are just not working. Vehicle play is not as good as they thought it would be, so they put them in their own little playlists that nobody plays.
Yeah. Yeah, true. But yeah, so we'll see. We got 3 new ones coming next week, and they look really good. Like that one set in Eastern Europe or whatever the heck it is. Yeah, it looks pretty fantastic. But yeah, we'll just have to see how they go.
Yeah. Is my stuff working now? Is there some words on the bottom?
Yes.
Howard.
Let's see. Can you see my picture?
Say something.
Yes. What it... Mr. Rogers.
There we go. He wants to be my neighbor.
There's your little train running behind you.
That's after I have Taco Bell.
Oh, nobody wants to be on that train.
Not that I can think of. That's why I have my own level now. I'm surprised I don't have to live down here.
All right. Well, let's keep this train going here. The
Yeah,
good
my
train.
bad.
And just a couple of things. A Bungie update came out today too. Just a couple of things I want to quickly touch on that. First off, their Nepal T-shirts and such. They've rated over $750,000 now for relief in Nepal now. So that's definitely a good thing. The community stepping up and buying a lot of T-shirts. I think I'm going to buy one myself here this weekend maybe. And yes, definitely a community's definitely stepping up, which is definitely a really nice thing. Example, Nepal got hit with another earthquake this week too, so it's
I saw that.
gone to hell over there. So every little bit helps there.
Buy a T-shirt
Yeah.
or donate in your own way.
Yeah,
Come
exactly.
out.
There's some controversy, or so if you want to go there, but new patch 1.2.0 was supposed to drop on Tuesday. It is not yet because they found a bug or something in it, and everyone's all concerned that House of Wolves is going to be delayed now. So in the update today, Deej said that they're probably going to try and get it out there tomorrow morning, so Friday morning.
Yep.
So fingers crossed, I guess.
We have a viewer question.
Oh, viewer question, please.
Does Howard wear boxers or briefs? It's boxer briefs. I'm both summer and
Trick
winter.
question or trick answer.
Yeah. Ditka versus God. Trick question. Ditka is God. You guys are probably too young for that. to know what I even said.
It went over my head. I won't lie.
Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, it's really funny because everybody that I work with is younger than me, and I say it all the time. And since I'm the most immature in the office, they just assume that I'm younger than I am. And I say it, and they look at me, and they all laugh, and I'm like, "You idiots have no idea." All right, continue. Ridge didn't have a good enough question. That's terrible.
Jeez, Rich, get your act together here. Jeez. All right, just one more thing in the update here. They're rolling out a new thing. They're calling it connection recovery. And basically what it's going to be doing here is Bungie's going to be giving you every opportunity to stay in an event instead of being kicked to orbit. This is going to be rolling out in Trials of Osiris first because obviously that is where it's going to matter the most, because if you are disconnected, your game is going to count as a loss, and that's obviously a big deal in Trials of Osiris. So they're going to be rolling this out first there, and then hopefully it'll be in the rest of the game here in the next little bit. But that's definitely a good little feature, I think, because we've all been there where we've been kicked from an activity, and that's definitely a pain in the ass. So it's good that Bungie is trying to do everything they can to fix that.
Yep. Hopefully it works as intended.
Yeah, well, here's hoping, but it seems like I'm not too sure how it all works on their end, to be honest. But if anything's better than nothing, I guess. So if they're trying to help us, then we would sure hope that it would work. But all right, quickly one more thing, I guess. Clan Wars. Keith's not here unfortunately this week, but Clash is the game mode, and there's no negative modifiers this week. So as long as you're playing with clan members, getting kills, and with headshots and scout rifles, I think. So if you're doing those things, you're going to get extra points with those. So.
Oh, nice. I wanted to try out meta multi-tool. Just leveled it up.
Yeah,
Good
that would be
opportunity this weekend.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right. Well, I guess just one more thing I want to touch on here and get you guys' opinion on. got word this week that the Division has been delayed until Q1 next year. So sometime January to May or something like that next year.
Yep.
Good.
Good. Exactly. I'm with
Stop
Howard.
putting out broken shit.
Yep. It's also probably good because it's a new IP, and new IPs tend to falter when they're up against the heavy hitters that come out every fall.
I'll play devil's advocate here for a sec, because basically this game has already been delayed over a year, because it was just over a year ago, pretty much, that it was delayed, to this year, to 2015. And they have 4 studios working on this game. Does that change your guys' opinion at all, or is it still just a good thing that it's being delayed?
Nope. Delay it until it's ready. I don't want to play a broken game, get pissed off, and then probably stop playing it, and once they fix it, it'll be too late, like Master Chief Collection. I was psyched for it. I wanted to play, get in some matches, and by the time they fixed it, I stopped caring.
Yeah, that really screwed some things up, didn't it?
Yeah, and I don't want. Yeah, and I don't want that same thing to happen to the Division. And the other, the other thing with that. Go ahead, Howard.
Well, their track record lately isn't doing so well with dropping a game that's not ready.
Yeah.
Unity was shit. I still haven't played it because people are still complaining about the bugs. Obviously, Master Chief's Collection is a different developer, but that was a train wreck. I think the 4 developer thing is okay. When they're making Assassin's Creed games, they have different things going on at once. I think I said that once before. They have different people working on different things. That way they can kind of keep pumping them out. And maybe the Division has 4 different people because they have some folks working on the PvP portion of it, some folks working on the MMO portion of it that's trying to come, get it to come together. I don't think it's any different. I don't think it's any different. Let's say Bungie having 4 different departments within Bungie working on Destiny. Someone who's working on skins and someone who's working on this. I think they have specialized sections. The internet gives us so much information now, and the first person to write about it always seems to be the sage of the group. They have 4 different things. It's terrible. And then all of us are like, holy shit, flames, fire, Division's gonna suck. If they keep delaying it, it either does suck currently and it needs to stop sucking, or it's just not good enough yet. And maybe they're looking at what Destiny did and how a lot of us became pretty polarized towards it pretty quickly, when there was no guarantees for gear when something happened. And World of Warcraft, when you beat a raid, you get gear. It either drop. You can PvP all day and get gear, but it's somewhat quick. And it was still somewhat quick back in vanilla. Destiny, you're talking a week and a half to get a pair of pants. I'd rather just go to work and buy a pair of pants than mess with it. Maybe the Division is looking at some of that stuff, and I hope they are. I'm really excited about that game, and I'm really excited about the delay because it's not going to screw up Smite time.
You might be bored by Smite of Smite by then, but yeah, I think it's. I hope that it's because it's just not. They're making tweaks, and it'll be better for it.
It is a fair point of using Destiny as an example, because a lot of people did get turned off by Destiny, just from the pure RNG standpoint of it, and to this day it is still a pain in the ass. So I never really thought of it from that angle. So
it took till House of Wolves 6 months later to figure out that people want rewards every time they complete something. Now we'll finally get that.
Yeah, you can't dangle the carrot and then that's all you do is dangle it. And I think that's what turned me off of Destiny pretty quick. Is I played MMOs for a long time, and they all had a reward system that seemed to feel gratifying and the RNG in Destiny was just terrible. I'm going to unlock an engram. I'm going to have 400 of them waiting, and all of them are going to give me some piece of turd. But I can tear it apart. I can tear my turd down and use it to build stuff later. But when I really need it, it's not going to give me anything that's going to help me make my level higher, my light level. Although I do think the light level thing was very interesting. I liked how they did that.
Yeah, I mean, I think they went a good way with giving this. Now you can upgrade your gear with a reward, like a coin that you're going to get for completing the raid activity. So you will get a reward every time.
So just like most other MMO-style games.
Yep. Exactly. And it just took them a very freaking long time to figure that out.
You know, it's like being a married man. You know, your wife tells you she wants you to help her fold the towels, and 3 years in you realize why she's been pissed off at you for 3 years. It's because you never helped her fold the towels. Destiny's just learning a little earlier, so hey, congrats to them. They're smarter than I am. I'm not going to tell her to watch this. That's for sure.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Or you better go and fold the fucking towels before you do.
Couldn't figure out why my headphones had got shorter. I was sitting on them. Like little by little, my head was like slipping down like that, and I was like, I don't know what's going on. I had sat on them, and then there you go. That's what happened. Thanks. I promise to have this shit ironed out by next week.
You better, God. Get with it.
Hey, you know what? My camera's fine now. It's just this damn headphone.
It is. It has not moved, so.
I know I didn't want to wear that big thing you have on your head and looking like a gomer, you know? So.
Call me a gomer?
What the hell, man?
I think it may be.
I don't even know what a gomer is.
You come to Kansas, you'll see them everywhere. Every third house. Or how about a rube? You know what a rube is?
No. What's a rube?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Salty Balls has an actual viewer question for us. So, sorry to hijack this.
Yeah, no, please.
No.
He wants to know what kind of router he should buy. He wants to redo his stuff so he can get a better connection. Anybody want to answer it? A Doxy 3? Leave it there?
Yeah, no, my router is provided by my cable provider, so I don't really know any specifics about that. But
I mean, you got to look at your connection. You know, you can buy a fantastic router, but if you're not getting the bandwidth, what's the point?
Right.
Exactly.
Well, you know, it depends on where you live. In rural areas, they don't actually throttle us, so you can pay for 20 and get 50. They don't have the necessary ability to do it.
That's awesome.
I'm pretty lucky that I live a block away from the school, so they have a gig run of fiber running right through our neighborhood. And so last night I think I did a speed test and got 150, but I couldn't do that without a kick-ass router, which would be a Doxy 3. You just have to find one salty that matches your cable provider. So if you have cable internet and you're using Comcast or Cox, something like that, Time Warner, I don't know, figure out which ones work with them and then buy it off of Amazon.
Yep.
Well,
that was a tech question, not even a game question.
Okay, well, I got a game question here I just saw in the chat as well. The Founders Pack. That is through the store on Xbox Live, I'm assuming?
Oh, yep. Just go to the Xbox Live store and search for Smite. Go to buy the Founders Pack. It'll download it, and you're in the beta. Bob's your uncle.
Excellent. We gotta bring this back to gaming, always.
Yeah, my bad.
No worries.
Wait, if you're in the alpha and you bought the God Pack, is that the same thing as the Founders Pack?
Yeah, the Founders Pack was the God Pack.
Got it.
So, and if you're in the alpha, you're automatically in the beta, and you get to keep all your stuff when the game starts. If you're level 30 and have a bunch of diamond skins, you get to keep them. There's no reset and no restart, and once you're in, you're in.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Is all that going to transfer to the game when it comes out, or do you know at this point?
Oh yeah, nothing's going to change. Everything you earn stays when the game becomes full release. If you paid attention to how high-res did Smite, and you probably didn't maybe, for PC, I swear to God the thing was in beta. It seemed like a decade. I know it wasn't, but my buddy was like, it's still in beta. They're still giving out codes. I'm like, what in the hell is wrong? And it took 2.5 years, and they finally released the game. But they did it right. They tested the hell out of it. They sold the founders packs and things like that, probably to help fund them. But I got to say, as a community, they were struggling the other day with the patch for the Xbox. I follow just about all of them on Twitter. I probably read 200 tweets throughout the day from them, informing everybody each step of the way what was happening. Hey, here's the struggle we're having. We're working on it. We're talking to Microsoft. You don't see that too often. When Master Chief Collection was down, they're like, game seems to be messed up. We'll report back later. And then they started doing a weekly update. Hi-Res does an hourly update, and they're honest about it. And it's not just one employee; it's 12. They're all saying. So if you just happen to follow one of them, you're still going to get the information. And they retweet the information, and they're a good company. Not only is the game a blast, but the people making it seem to be heartfelt, really care about what they're doing. I mean, that Dry Bear guy, if you've watched him yet on YouTube, he works for them and helps design the game, and he makes videos for fun all day long, just talking about classes. You don't see that too often. People that are passionate about what they do. So
that is nice.
Yeah.
That is really nice.
Bungie could learn a few things there.
They used to be passionate. I felt like, didn't it? When back when they were making Halo, didn't it feel like they really gave a shit about how we felt? Or maybe Halo was so innovative we didn't notice that we weren't happy yet.
Yeah, maybe we just weren't picky back then as we are now.
we hadn't seen what could really happen until a little bit later on. But I think Bungie is heartfelt and they're passionate about what they do. They're just slow to react, and I think they had a vision when they left Microsoft of something of Halo World, and Microsoft didn't want that. They just wanted the next iteration, 3 or 4 or 5 Reach, whatever. I think they had a vision and they took it with them, and I think they were so steadfast, stuck in where they thought they should be when they left Microsoft with a chip on their shoulder. They wanted that vision to succeed instead of changing along the way. Let's hope. But that was some theorizing there for you. Let's hope that changes.
Yeah.
They're definitely making amends, I think, and every major change that has happened to Destiny in the last 6 months has been a community requested thing. So I think they are trying.
We're not.
That goes a long way, but definitely not to the same extent that Hi-Res is doing. If they're updating every hour,
it's crazy. Follow these people. Follow them. You'll go nuts. One of them, Hi-Res Amanda earlier, she dyed her hair purple to be Bologna, which is one of the warriors in the game. To go to a party. You know what I mean? I work. She designed Bologna and she has some stock in that person. But she's like, hey, check it out. So this happened today, and she's dressed up like Bologna, and I'm like, who wouldn't want to work there? I want to quit my job and go to Hi-Res. But I don't know how to design video games, so, and I think most people don't like me very much because I'm kind of an a-hole, so I'd probably get fired pretty quickly.
So I don't know how you kept a job this long.
I'm really, really good at what I do.
That's right.
And my boss is a very patient and understanding human being. Would be the best way to put it. He tolerates me. He doesn't even call me OCD. He calls me particular. He's nice about it, and he's a good guy to work for. Actually, no, not many people can say that either. I don't want to kill my boss.
That's good.
Yeah, you're not going to see me in jail for that. It'd probably be me getting drunk and beating up my neighbor or something, but that's normal.
All right. Well, I think that pretty much covers everything. So, you guys got anything you'd like to throw in here before we wrap things up?
Oh, we're wrapping up already?
Yeah, unless you got something else. My list is done, I think. So.
Let's see here. Ridge wants to know how we feel about E3 and any predictions. Do we have any?
Oh, yeah, we didn't do our predictions.
Yes, let's do that.
Well, you're just trying to get me off the horn, aren't you? So you can have a secret discussion about never inviting Howard back to anything.
He's on to us.
Fringe is chatting you frantically. End this shit. Get him off of here.
All right, well, yeah, let's do the AV predictions. Any of you guys want to jump out first here? Or?
Go for it,
I'll
Franz.
give some love to the PlayStation side. I think that they'll announce an Uncharted collection.
Yay for more remasters.
Yeah, because they don't have anything new.
No, they don't, and that's what's crazy about PlayStation. I have both consoles. You obviously have them too, friends.
Yeah.
Their free shit is so much better than what Xbox offers, but that is it.
Oh,
That's it.
yeah.
You know, like that's all they have. You could play every crazy, wacky, far west or east, I guess. Which direction is that area? Shit, I don't know. East. Geography is terrible, obviously. You could do whatever. You can play all those, but they don't have any games that are worth a crap. Final Fantasy was awesome, I thought, but nobody played with me. I don't know. Their lineup is worse than Xbox, and if you want to gain 4 FPS to play Battlefield, that's fine, but I don't see the point.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing how well it's selling with no games. I mean, it has Bloodborne, right? That's its big AAA.
Right. I think the whole Microsoft screw ups at that E3 really dropped the ball for Microsoft.
Oh yeah, that and the Resgate, as they call it,
What's
turned
that?
a lot of people. Resolution
Oh, right.
issues, but yeah. But yeah, I don't think PlayStation doesn't really have anything going on, and they delayed it Uncharted, so it just seems logical they'll throw out a remastered and say, "Here's to hold you over."
Yeah.
Don't go buy an Xbox.
Don't go buy an Xbox. Here's what we got. Maybe they'll do some God of War stuff if they already thrown that out.
They mentioned they're doing one of the. I think it's the original God of War. They're gonna remaster.
I'm really tired of remasters. I want a new IP. I want a shot at something else. In remasters, I don't want them to be $60 anymore. I want 30 or 20.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm with you. I like it when I haven't played the game and I want to, get into it. Like, I like it for the PlayStation side because I didn't have a PlayStation 3. So if they just put everything out,
right?
I would buy some of it, just because I missed out on that.
Yeah. I still haven't played The Last of Us, even though everybody tells me it's phenomenal, and I want to. But I haven't had that shot, and I'll get it at some point. I'm glad they put it on the PS4. But other than that, and I don't have any interest in God of War or any. I didn't really like the Uncharted games that much, to be honest. But I did. To be honest, I didn't play them. I watched them. I watched my buddy play, and I was like, that looks boring. I'd rather play Halo. It seems slow to me.
Watching and playing are very different animals, so
Right.
different take on it. So,
What about you, Mike? What do you got?
you know what? I think I'll stick with PlayStation as well. And there's some rumors going around that Sony has locked up the Call of Duty exclusivity, like that Xbox currently has, because that contract is up this year. Advanced Warfare is the last Call of Duty game to have that. And there's a rumor going around that Sony's dished out a shit ton of money to lock up Call of Duty content first for the DLC when it releases. So I'm gonna guess that.
And all at once, half the world stopped caring.
Yeah, I know. It's like you did that at the worst possible time when Call of Duty's on such a downturn.
Yeah, it really is. And with Guardians coming with the heat, with their did you guys play the open beta for Halo Guardians?
Yeah.
It was good. It felt good.
Oh, it feels really good. I'm excited for that.
It's fast. It doesn't have that kind of antiquated, dated feel that Halo has to it. You step into Master Chief Collection for a few rounds, and you think, God, this is slow, and it's fun, but it's slow, and no iron sights, not having the ability ever is a little frustrating. Which I know we should probably touch on that since we're talking about E3 and Battlefront coming out and them saying they're not going to have iron sights. Or did you miss that part?
No, I saw that. That That doesn't bother me. That's how Battlefront's always been played. No iron sights.
I
I've
know.
never had iron sights.
They'll
I
have
know-
it on some, snipers and things like that. So hopefully, I'm cool with it as long as the game is fast, somewhat fast. I don't need like frenetic Call of Duty Twitch shooter fast. Somewhere in between there, which is kind of where Halo Guardians felt to me. Honestly, it wasn't too fast, it wasn't too slow. My porridge was just right playing that beta. And that's my prediction, I suppose. Is I know they said they weren't going to do much because they announced that stuff at Disney, but I think we're going to see some Battlefront footage. They can't just not bring it to E3. EA's not skipping altogether, are they?
No, actually, I actually read something that there is going to be a gameplay on the 15th. I think they're going to have a gameplay trailer or reveal or something on the 15th. So,
okay,
it is the Xbox conference actually. So, whether it's actually going to be at the Xbox conference, I'm not sure. But
all right. Well, one of my predictions. I believe that with this small success we've seen with Smite, I think we're going to see some PC announcements, PC to console announcements. Obviously, Xbox is going to pimp Windows 10, but I think we might see both PlayStation, both Sony and Microsoft pick up some PC-specific game that we haven't seen on console either before or in a long while.
interesting.
Do you have any prediction as to which game?
Do I have an opinion on which game I think it might be?
Yeah.
I would not doubt if we didn't see maybe Heroes of the Storm announcement.
Yeah, that makes sense. Blizzard did with
Destiny.
Diablo 3, so...
Yeah, and they worked. Blizzard owns Bungie, or Blizzard does, if you will.
Yeah.
And so, I think they've done a good job of putting all their eggs in that basket of not putting all their eggs in that basket, but having their finger in so many different baskets. In so many departments, I think they could do it so easy. And you bet your bottom they're watching very, very closely how people are reacting to Smite right now on the Xbox, because that's a player base that they don't have right now. And PC gaming is back in a big way. I'll admit that. A lot of my friends that had quit PC are all back to it now. But it's because of MOBAs, really. MOBAs and WoW. I don't know what happens to WoW. That recycles people like every 3 years. They lose 13 million customers, but then like 17 more million pick up, and there's people that used to play. It's really weird. I don't know. I really hope that we see some PC stuff, though. I'd like to see another MOBA. I've never played Heroes of the Storm. I'm pretty much done with PC gaming altogether now that I've met y'all. But we'll see.
Yeah, I read that thing about Warcraft losing all those players. But yeah, I guess it's not too surprising given where the franchise is at the moment. And
right before we started, I read they dropped the ban hammer on 100,000 players today till November.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a big ban. I mean, they have 7 million customers, but
That's still
a good chunk of
huge.
people.
mm-hmm.
And I think I saw that too. What was it about those? Using like some exploit or something, or
It was a bot exploit.
Yeah,
they had bots running PvP to farm honors so they could buy their PvP gear and get a leg up without actually having to be there to do it. Which is in my mind, it's one of the reasons I stopped PC gaming. The Old Republic was probably the last game that I played, and they broke that PvP so bad, I was just done. There's a lot more controlled environment on a console.
Yeah.
Rarely do you see a class in a shooter that's so good that everybody just screams nerf. I mean, it's just not crazy good, but they did something with the bolster in the Old Republic to where if you wore the shittiest gear possible, you had more strength and more power and more whatever than the person that grinded for 4 months for awesome PvP gear, and you could just go in and destroy them. And like 4 months later, they hadn't fixed it yet. So that was it for me. That just said PC games they're too slow to react, I think.
I've always heard the PC games were more on the ball for that. It's like Warcraft was really on the ball, for example, for getting things fixed, and that's why Bungie came under so much criticism. As a lot of these bugs went unfixed for so long.
Right. I think a lot of our stuff we're going to see is going to end up being from Blizzard in that area. They've already had that success in Diablo. You can bet they have a microscope under Smite. I And I'll be honest with you, Diablo is so much better on a console than it ever was to me on PC. I own both versions, and I love the console version. It seems more fluid. It's faster. Hell, it's on a hell of a lot bigger TV. That's for sure. I mean, who wants to stare at a 20-some-inch screen all day long when you can stare at a bigger one and from your couch, not some computer chair? I don't know.
Well, Blizzard has this new Overwatch, isn't it? It's kind of a first-person shooter sort of game, isn't it? I think so, anyways. But yeah, that could be one to maybe get. Could make the jump over to console, maybe. So.
Yeah, I'm interested in that one too. Blizzard. I hate to say it, Blizzard just doesn't put out too much bad shit. They seem to put out games people become addicted to. It's like they have crack in the code. I don't know.
And they constantly update their games.
They're
Even
always patching. Yeah, once we get past that patching process, which Smite's working right now with Microsoft to try to figure that out and get it smoothed out. They fixed the problem in a day. That's pretty awesome. 24 hours from when the problem was created, they had contacted Microsoft, and the two teams worked together to solve the problem with the PC, with some of the account merging stuff. I think that's pretty fantastic that Microsoft's bending over backwards at this point to say, you know what, we screwed up, and we need a bigger player base. We want our console to sell for something specific, and we're willing to work with these people now and not be such a-holes, which is kind of how everybody heard they were before this. Difficult to deal with. I think that's all I got.
Yeah. I'm good.
Alrighty. Alright, well, let's wrap things up here. OriginalGuardians.com is our website. Come check it out if you have not. Got some good content on there, some articles, a couple from Ridge now. He's got a little health series coming. Definitely check that out. New one actually just posted this morning. So yeah, give that a read. Beyond that, just the usual ways to get in contact with us: Facebook, Original Guardians; Twitter, @VoteGuardians; Google+, just search +Original Guardians. Links are in the show notes. Got the Bungie update there. The latest Hunt the Truth for Halo 5 is out now. That's episode 7, so you can go listen to that. Link to that as well. Of course, the link to The Division being delayed as well. And I think with that, we will sign off for the week. Thanks everybody for listening or watching, and we will be back next week, next Thursday at 10:30 Eastern.
Thanks, guys. See you then.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for having me.
Later.